So you've just woken up. You know you've got a game planned for tonight, but you just can't pull your stuff together to just even want to. Your passion is gone. Maybe you've had a rough day at work on the previous day. Maybe just the daily news is getting to you. Lord knows we've got a lot of crap going on in the world right now, and that's enough to wear anybody down. But regardless of whatever has you down, some days we just don't feel it, no matter how bad we want to play. And there's, of course, a handful of sorry about that. There is a handful of remedies that one can throw at themselves to try to snap out of the darkness, if you want to call it that. To try to get back into the mood of playing. But sometimes all we want to do is just sit there and watch TV or stare at the walls. Well, while I'm not too keen on delving into why we end up falling into the funk, I would like to explore what we can do to kind of snap out of it. And I realize that sometimes just snapping out of it, it's not quite that simple. But I think the bottom line here is at some point, all of us have felt just not feeling it. So, with that, I want to present to you my two panelists for the night, and we may be joined later with more. But we've got Drac and we've got Seraphis. How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. Yourself?
Well, I could complain, but it wouldn't do any good.
I mean, it's morning for me, so I've got a whole day.
Well, that's true. You've got a whole day to ruin the rest of your day, don't you?
You have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. I think, I given that just three people, it's probably not a big slice of a populace to say, hey, yeah, we're all feeling down, um, but at some point, I think we all have felt down and just not in the mood to play, even though we may have had a regularly scheduled evening. What, Drac, what do you do in that instance? Do you just suck it up, Buttercup, and push on, or do you beg for mercy from your players?
I have a couple of options because I'm kind of lucky that way. I can ask one of the other people if they want to DM and see if they'll fill in. But most of the time, I got to get my head in the right spot or go find a different spot and see if I can get it back around.
Yeah. And so what kind of tools do you employ to try to get your head back into that gaming space?
YouTube and monster manuals or creature codexes or beast manuals or whatever they want to call themselves. I go find some critters to kill people with.
Okay. I can dig it. Now, Seraphis, I know you have a lot going on in your life. You've got to have you have to have had times where it's just been too much, and it's like, you know what? No, screw it. I can't play tonight. But damn it, I really want to play.
Yes, repeatedly.
Yeah,
very often, in fact.
Probably more often these days than in years past. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I want to say that it's offset by the fact that I'm a player in one group, and then I've got my groups that I GM.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, being a player doesn't always give me the same satisfaction as being a GM. So,
right.
I think the biggest troubles I've had is players.
The players burnt out before you and just not showing up. Yeah, I've had that happen many times too.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I will have spent until early morning making sure that I've got my session prepared for that day, and then half the people cancel, and it's like,
yeah.
Now I don't feel like doing next session. Yay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, nothing hurts the game worse than, you've spent, and I'm going to pop the chat up on screen a little bit because there's a lot of good comments going on. But yeah, nothing will kill a DM's spirit quicker than if you have a table of 5 people plus you, nothing will kill your spirit quicker than having all 5 players decide we're not showing up.
Yeah.
I spent all week preparing this. Oh, that hurts. Yeah. Let's see. Tori. Hey, you know what? My chat is just acting goofy and it won't let me highlight. So I'm just going to read it. Tian Tori says, I think a funk and not wanting to DM can be 2 different things. A square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. Sometimes I don't want to because there's other stuff I want to do, not because I'm down, just tossing that out there. Yeah, I get that. I guess there's kind of a fine line between funk and I guess maybe just not wanting to. I think kind of what I'm more referring to is you've just, like I said earlier, you've gotten up. The day's pressures have just gotten to you. Maybe you ran out of time in preparing something and you just don't feel like playing. I know I've had my bouts with that. But yeah, Drac, I like the moving towards cracking open the monster manual and finding monsters in there to go after the players.
Yeah, that's really helped. So I like to create and modify my big bads, look over other material to make them a little more interesting or a little more lifelike. And if I'm feeling down and not really into it, sometimes it's just a matter of what can I make to compliment this guy? So it's interesting interactions to, get that going. It's not a perfect fix, but sometimes that anticipation is just what you need to.
Well, and William also comments that there's been many times that he's just simply sucked it up and pushed on. And after you got rolling, it felt a lot better. And then getting into the right headspace is not easy if you're stressed. And I think that kind of goes along with what you were saying. Once you've got that monster there or have modified your big bad, whatever, and you start playing, I've often found that regardless of where my headspace was, pissed off at something that happened at work, ticked off at the guy that cut me off in traffic on the way home, pissed off because when I ordered the pizza for the whole group, they gave me the wrong pizza and, it's got anchovies on it and nobody wants anchovies, but it's there. And I don't care how bad you pick them off. That fish flavor is stuck in that pizza forever. And that'll piss me off. And I'll be brooding about that. But once I sit down with my group and start playing, 30 minutes in, man, I'm lock, stock, and barrel all right there on that game. And all of my worries have just been kind of washed away. So I can kind of see where immersing yourself into a book, the Monster Manual, for example, can, I don't know, kind of, you're kind of almost playing a bait and switch on yourself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, you need something to give yourself that urge.
Yeah.
And scaring the hell out of your players.
That'll do it every time. Yeah. That'll do it almost every time.
But beverage of choice. One of the things I found that really works well for me is a half serving of pre-workout. They have some now with nootropics, so it helps your thought. And then the caffeine kick doesn't hurt neither, especially if you're playing in the evening. And sometimes it's just, you need to turn the lights on and go, hey.
Like what Goth says, it's better just to push through. If you skip, you risk breaking a schedule which can break a table. Just have a bracing shot of whiskey and do it. And funny enough, I mean, we were just kind of talking about that just before the show started. Yeah. So
the other thing that I could find that does help, and I'll recommend, especially if someone's a newer DM, is opening up the Dungeon Master's Guide and going to like creations for like villages and towns and cities. Sure. And just read through some of the options that they throw you there, and then go, okay, well, you grab the option A, B, and C, and then, you know, oh, I've got a game for this tonight because I got rooms for A, B, and C, and away we go.
Right. Well, and that's okay. So that's actually a pretty cool segue into kind of a secondary topic for new people jumping into a role-playing game. Again, it doesn't have to specifically be D&D. It could be Cypher System, could be Robotech, could be, you know, virtually anything. The hesitation of somebody who has been a long-time player at the table wanting to move into the position of being one that runs the game. Maybe they're just not feeling it. And at this point, I'm not necessarily talking about not feeling it from a the world has me down kind of point of view, but more, I just kind of lack the confidence to be able to competently run this new game. Seraphis, if somebody wanted to jump in that had only either ever played, say for example, Cypher System, you're kind of the resident expert on that one. If somebody wanted to jump in and start playing that, who has never, I mean, let me rephrase. If somebody wanted to jump in and start running that system when they have only ever played it before, but they've got that feeling of pause, you know, that unsure feeling, the lack of confidence. What would you say, or is there something you could say that would kind of give them an instant, you got it?
Two things. I'm going to send you one, and then I'll say the other one.
Okay.
So I'd send them this and tell them, just remember, it's still just 3. Just roll with it.
Okay, let me... How can I make that... Oh, here we go. There we go. So this is Idolum. Am I saying that right? Yep. Okay. And it is, let's see, if seen in their undisguised state, Idolums are the color of ash or a corpse. About the size of humans, they're often mistaken for humans because they steal the skin from their victims and wear it like clothing. Okay. Without a stolen skin, they're revealed to have wide mouths, dead eyes, cadaverous skin, slick with the kind of poison that dissolves the underlayers of a living creature's flesh. So here we go. So we got this guy that's just kind of stepping into another person's flesh.
Mm-hmm.
It hungers for flesh. Go ahead.
So one of the main reasons why I like turning to Idolums is because if you're going to do a one-shot or something like that, these are absolutely great to throw in early and try to coerce a player into going over to someone who looks like they're frail or something, and then being like, hey, do you go and help them? Okay, you've gotten in close to help them, and now you're dead, and they've just jumped into your skin, and you're now this. Here's my write-up, my horror write-up of what's happened, and you're now going to be pretending to be your character. You're this thing pretending to be your character. But you want to survive, so you can't give away hints that you're not your character anymore.
So that's kind of a private discussion that you have between the player and yourself, not with all the other players at the table.
As I said, I've got a personal little write-up on my
Yeah.
tablet. I pass it to them, and
Yeah. I like that monster. That's a good one. And I mean, this fits right in with what Drac was saying, you know. I mean, hey, thumb through your monster manual, your fiend folio, or your, you know, whatever monster book of choice, find something interesting. And just looking through this, looking at the picture of it, it's only got 14 health points. I mean, there's certainly something there that can at least spark my memory. I like horror to begin with, you know, so I think that that's kind of a good, inspiring creature to kickstart the creativity.
Yeah.
So, Drac, I first want to ask what is your gaming experience specifically in running role-playing games? Like what different games have you run?
Mostly it's been D&D and back in the 90s, the Marvel role-playing game that they had advanced.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've tried a couple other systems like Battletech and Robotech, GURPS, and Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one? There's one, Rifts. I think back in the 90s, there was some play with Rifts. But nothing extensive. It was just like one shot or something as we were trying to learn the game.
Right. And so if somebody wanted to get into any one of those games, what that you know, again, maybe they lack self-confidence, what would be your key bit of advice for that person? You know, and again, running the game, not actually, you know, not being a player in the game.
Try a little one shot. Just, you know, put a bunch of little stories together that you can play like in a chain of one shot sort of thing, and just have fun with it, because it's like any other skill. You got to keep doing it to get good at it.
Yeah.
And you got to do it enough to get your confidence up, and then talk to your players and learn what you need to work on.
Yeah. And I want to come back and address something that Mage's Musing just said, but I want to go off on a real quick tangent first. Specific to one shots, and this really has nothing to do with the topic at hand, but I'm just genuinely curious here. When you guys do one shots, do you guys go crazy, like balls to the wall, insane stuff, or is it just like your regular adventure, nothing too crazy? And I can clarify, because I know that may not make much sense. So when I do one shots, they're finding magic items left and right. To me, a one shot is a session that lasts one evening. I mean, you know, one shot. And I want, I mean, it wouldn't be uncommon for them to just start out at level 1, and by the night's end, they're level 15. I mean, just like I said, balls to the wall, going crazy. They're finding magic items left and right. They're coming up with experimental spells. They're creating their own stuff that would normally take the span of, I don't know, 8 weeks or something to come up with. But instead it happens in 5 minutes. Like, well, I want to create a spell that's like a combination of lightning bolt and fireball. I want to call it lightning ball. Okay. You know, just crazy stuff like that.
Mine are more like, it might be, you know, like, you might pick a level and go, say, we're making level 7 characters tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You got a couple of +1 weapons and a couple of basics. They just kind of keep it simple from the DM's play, because if I'm throwing it together and I'm doing it off of like one sentence or one monster that I found, and I'm making it all up on the go,
Right.
I don't want complicated from a bunch of magic items that I just did not prepare for.
Gotcha. Makes sense. I get it.
Yeah. I'm looking for
I'll my usual go-to is to try and do a vertical slice of, especially with Cipher System in the genre that I'm going for, and make it absolutely chaotic. Like if it's say sci-fi, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I might start off with something that looks like it's the first Alien movie, but end up as like Alien Resurrection instead, where it's just aliens everywhere. Everything is just going insane. There's now a mutant one for some reason. What the hell? Can we have a flamethrower? No, but here's a ball that floats along the hallway and then explodes and doesn't damage the ship, but incinerates everything else. Like, yeah, you know, just boo.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason now I'm suddenly wanting to start a game off, a one shot that starts off like Alien, but somehow ends in My Little Pony.
My Little Alien.
My Little Alien.
We're back to My Little Alien again.
Okay. So Mage's Musing says, and again, if I could highlight this, I would, but I guess the back end here is having some issue. It's just not letting me. But Mage's Musing says, many DMs suffer from high expectations and feel they must not only run the game, but provide constant entertainment, a new experience, plotted story, cinematic experience, etc. Escalates the burnout. And yeah, I agree. I think that there are quite a few DMs out there that feel like My Little Xeno. Yeah, I like that one. There are quite a few DMs out there that feel like, you know, they have to have high energy from start to finish. I'm certainly not like that. Not when I'm running it. And I mean, there have been some sessions where I've had to decompress afterwards, you know, just guys, I think we had a lot of fun, but it's time to go home. I mean, I've been there, you know, and it's not at that point. I don't necessarily attribute that to burnout per se. It's just more I'm wiped out.
The intensity of the session.
Yes,
I've had a couple of Shadowrun games like that.
Yeah, I can imagine specifically. Yeah, with Shadowrun, I can definitely understand that. Is Drax? Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah. Some nights when the table just kind of is a little imbalanced. One character or one person just, you know, contrary, you know, to everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
And you just end of the night, you're just stressed rather than having fun and laughing.
Well, yeah, and so you've got that one player. That's a really good one too, because I've certainly experienced that. You've got that one player that it's just, I mean, you didn't plan it. It's just every encounter is catered specifically for them, and they're wiping the board clean. And you've got, in the meantime, you've got 3 other players or 4 other players that are just kind of sitting there. Okay, when are we going to get to go? And you're recognizing this like mid combat, right? And now all of a sudden you start feeling that little ping of guilt. It's you know, it's right there, you know, right there. That little ping of guilt going, shit, I got to include these guys now.
And that's when we roll in the ambush.
Yeah. Right. I didn't plan to have an ambush, but you know what? That's going to be my fix. And they're going to be aliens.
Vampiric aliens.
Yeah.
And anal probes. Sorry, can I say that word on your channel?
I don't. Yeah, that would definitely take the game in a very different direction. I will admit that, yeah. But so I don't know what more to add.
Now, when you guys are facing burnout, do you do like map searching to kind of find where you want your game to go?
Yes, I do. I'll usually what I do is I pull up one of my older, or I'll dig out one of my older modules, and I'll just kind of flip through. I'll look at the maps, I'll look at the descriptions that are provided in them, and then go, hmm, well, that's kind of an interesting little plot line. And then I'll just kind of try to flesh that out a little bit. But for the most part, I'm kind of a sandbox fan of sandbox games, and I really leave the hard grunt work up to the players to figure out where they want to go. I'll have ideas. I'll have basic rough ideas. If they happen to find a cave, I'll pull out a map. I mean, they're not going to decide, the layout of the cave. I'm not that kind of sandbox, but I'll if they run across a castle, I'll have a map of a castle somewhere. Um, but yeah, I mean, I definitely lean heavy onto maps.
I go back to the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, maybe watch some episodes of like Thundercats or He-Man or something like that. Like random episodes. And then like think, okay, if I'm feeling creatively drained on what I want to be doing in the session, I'll go here, entertain myself with something, and be like, there's an idea.
Yeah.
Like, man, I don't know. Like,
yeah. Like how many players are going to really remember Thundercats season 2, episode 5? I mean, and you can easily just pull whatever. I don't even know what it is.
Oh,
but
actually, that's a good point. How many people remember that Mumra's Black Pyramid is also a spaceship? Yes.
Only from the toy, not from the series.
Right.
But they did it in the
movie.
No, the revival one that they did in was it 2001 or something?
Yeah.
They showed that it could lift off as a spaceship.
Yeah.
So yeah,
nice.
It did become canon.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So I mean, there's certainly things that and popular culture is definitely a something that I pull from for inspiration for the games. No question there. Movies are a big one. Just because, I mean, it's so incredibly easy to pull an element from this movie, pull an element from this movie, mash them all together, spit it out as something new, and the players are never the wiser. It's just something fun to do.
I like going to YouTube. There's this guy I know. He does these little questions of the day. I built a campaign off of one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so okay, I'll give you a little surprise hint on that. There is a very small select group of people that have seen what my calendar of the day for 2026 is going to be. Seraphis. You never downloaded it, did you? My Excel spreadsheet that I posted?
No.
Yeah, so I'm working on I don't want to say what it is, but it's a spreadsheet that I'm working on that I'm going to give out to everybody, but it is going to randomly create the whatever it is of the day. And I'll be fleshing that out quite a bit to turn it into a calendar form. But yeah, I had with the adventure idea of the day, I had a lot of people reach out to me and go, where is this calendar? Where can I buy it? And I'm like, it's a unique one of a kind. I never even thought to make this into a sellable thing. And I'm not a big fan of trying to monetize something like that anyway. So this new one I'm doing for next year is something I'm just going to give it to anybody that wants it. And yeah, they should be able to do quite a bit in hold on one second. I've got somebody wanting to see if they could join, so bear with me.
In my defense, I was going to download it, then forgot that I was going to download it, and then
Not a big deal. Not a big deal. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, I saw the whole conversation. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, being a touch cryptic there. But yeah, because I want it to be kind of a surprise for next year. But it's and it what it is now may not end up being what it's ultimately going to be. So yeah, but yeah, again,
Like all
anyways,
good things.
yeah. I mean, I may burn out and decide I just don't want to do that.
It's okay. I'll share another monster when you start getting into Burnout there.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, and I guess one of the other things that I guess I do when I start, I guess, kind of dealing with the burnout, I'll just say, guys, because I don't have anybody else that really that has an interest in even running a game, but they all like to eat. So, that's usually what we'll do. Just pile in and head off to get some Mexican food or something for dinner, and or pizza, and we'll just chill out and watch Netflix. Watch a movie or something, and and Tori says, speaking of a solution to the burnout you didn't mention yet, canceling. Seriously, sometimes take a break. Yeah, and that's valid. That's valid. I mean, I don't like to cancel it because it's happened enough to me, which has caused, like almost instant burnout. Like, what did I do wrong? And I haven't. It's just one person has a funeral to go to, another one has a sick kid, another one had to call in work. So,
What if all these things are the one person?
that would suck. I mean, they'd have a worse day than I did for sure.
We chip in for the first therapy session.
Yeah, no kidding.
Math rocks might help it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, and not trying to demonetize your channel, but isn't a group watching Netflix and chilling just an orgy?
I guess in some circles it could be, yes. Okay, so we'll turn on Hulu and chill.
Hulu, you could Hulu. Yeah.
Woohoo to Hulu? Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, I like that one.
But
yeah, Hulu and chill.
Another source of stuff that you guys could, I don't know if you guys have thought of really, is like if you're playing an established realm or with, something from one of the realms, you could dive in and read up literature on it.
Yeah, lore diving is definitely something I enjoy. I am a big fan of lore. I like lore building. I like reading about established lore specifically. Just because I think that there's common ground. Like, I've got my own world that I've built, right? I mean, I think all three of us as DMs or GMs have a world that we have built over time. But when you have something that is common ground between all three of us, Seraphis, you've played in Forgotten Realms before.
Yeah.
Drac, you've played in Forgotten Realms. We could probably have a geek out session specifically just about random places in Waterdeep. or Cormier or wherever. And we all already know that stuff because, I mean, that's the game era and setting that we grew up on. So we have that common ground. And that's what I like about lore, is just reading more about it, so that, when I do run across other folks of my age bracket, they already have, again, like I said, that common ground of knowledge.
Each edition changed that lore too. So when we have someone in our age group, and we can go back and say, okay, well, in the 90s and second edition, it was this.
Yeah.
And in my first edition book said this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that sucks. Because I'm constantly getting first edition and second edition material scrambled in my head. And I start second guessing myself and going, wait, was oh fuck, what is it? Heal? The group of spells that they were all necromancy spells, but which you wouldn't have ever thought that heal was a necromancy spell, but it was. That had harm. That's it. Heal and harm are the direct opposites of each other. And I always forget which edition that originated in. And then Seraphis, he'll just spout out some random stuff about something out of a Dragon magazine. And I'm like, shit, now I got to go down that rabbit hole and find that issue and read that article. And what was it we discovered? That the Artificer was actually in the very first issue of Dragon magazine?
That we didn't discover that. We got told that by one of your subscribers. God knows. Yeah. Can't remember that one. But yeah, no, it was because I remember it from second edition. I hadn't seen it in first edition. Didn't know of it in like the white book or anything else. So I assumed it came from second edition.
Yeah.
That would make sense because that's as far as I've ever seen it come to. No. Dragon number 1.
Yeah. Dragon magazine issue number 1. Like, what?
Jeez.
So I had to do and so I had to do a deep dive into the lore on that, and that's the kind of stuff I like. I mean, it's fun. Eye-opening.
It is fun.
I like diving into like the Blood War or stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like reading
Bloodstone Pass and yeah, and that's something else. I mean, admittingly, that's something else that I'll do to get myself out of the funk is, I'll come back here into my office and or what I call a studio, whatever, and I'll pull out random books and modules and just start kind of flipping through them. You had asked earlier, about maps, and I mean, yeah, I do look at the maps, but also flip through my old Dragon magazines and old modules, and it's just fun. It's fun to remember the old days.
I've got another shelving unit at that end of the room, and I'll grab something off the shelf at random, and it'll trigger a memory, and so I'll go grab something else, and I'll go grab something else.
Yeah.
And then it's 3 hours later, and I've got a pile of books in every room of the house because as I've pulled things out, I've wandered around to get a drink, and it's in my kitchen, and then this one's by the Lazy Boy, and that one's on the sofa, and my next party is going to be, hey guys, come help me clean up the books.
Yeah. Have either one of y'all ever seen the movie with John Cusack called High Fidelity?
I know it, but I don't remember it.
Jack Black is also in it, and but John Cusack he owns a record store, but at his home, in his apartment, he has his own personal collection of like thousands of records. And so when he gets bored, when he's not feeling it, he'll take all the records off the shelf and then rearrange them. Sometimes he'll rearrange them by alphabetical order. Other times he'll rearrange them by genre, or he'll rearrange them by artist. And I have found myself doing that with my D&D books. I will rearrange them by spine color. I don't like that. I'll rearrange them by, of course, by addition. That's the default. That's how I have everything now. Or I'll rearrange them based on topic. So like all the Ravenloft, regardless of edition, will be here. All of the Forgotten Realms, regardless of edition, will be next to that, and so on and so forth.
I am not that bad yet. Maybe that's something I get to look forward to. Ari Salvatore over there.
Yeah.
Over there. I had a shelf for Edward, and it got moved around.
Yeah.
They change a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll rotate through my novels instead of the actual D&D books. I'll go through the novels. I'll pull out a section of books. Oh, I want to read Forgotten Realms from this area to this area. I'll pull it all forward. Whatever is in the front goes in the back or on a different shelf.
Yeah.
On the floor, on top of the shelf, on the nearest nightstand table or whatever flat surface I can find.
Yeah.
I really got to get into reading the first one because, that's what's in my brain at that moment.
Right. I think one of my favorite Forgotten Realms sets was the Avatar series, where we had Tristan, Midnight, was it Cirrus? Kelemvar, yeah.
Time of Troubles.
Yeah, oh man. And that's what kind of introduced the wild magic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to go back and reread those. It's been a really long time.
Tori, I really like Eddings as well. And Ed Greenwood has always been a favorite. I will dive into the first 3 Elminster books, especially the first one, for inspiration to get my head back into the game. And there's just a level of play there as he progresses through his story.
Yeah.
It just resets my want to, let's do this. This idea is good. Where can we take this that's different? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he created the Forgotten Realms, over 50 years ago. I mean, we got to give the guy credit for it. And inspiration is.
Yeah. And that was, so the Forgotten Realms, the gray box set, that was probably my all-time favorite supplement that I ever got, because that was something I bought with money that I had earned that summer. So I paid cash. It was mine, all mine. It wasn't a borrowed book. It wasn't, a hand-me-down book. It was one that I went out, I purchased it. And that's the one box set that just really opened my eyes to how to do sandbox, because it didn't have a pre-made adventure, I don't think, but it had setting information. It had, this huge fucking map of Waterdeep. I mean, we're talking like a 9-foot map. I mean, you had to, piece them together, but my goodness, I didn't have an area in the house big enough to even put the whole map out.
They did actual big maps like that too.
Mm-hmm.
The Dragonlance one is right there. And you can fold it out and it's 6 feet tall. And
yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that to me that's what solidified in my mind. I want to do sandbox stuff. I want to be able to start creating my own adventures. And I admit, from that point forward, me not feeling it, well, it really wasn't until like the past 4 or 5 years that I started getting to the point where I just was not feeling it anymore. Ironically, that's with 5th edition.
Hold on. I'm going to help Tori out there.
Huh.
I'm saying our 5th edition. I have no comments.
Yeah, Tori, this is an amazing map here.
It's starting to rip, but I mean, it's
what, 40 years old?
yeah.
Was that one of the trail maps?
That is. That's about a 5-footer or something.
Yeah.
It's sitting on my chair. And it's a little above my head, and I'm 6.5 feet tall. So
That's crazy big.
Yeah, and that'll take me 20 minutes to fold again later.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're going to fold it wrong.
Oh, at least 3 times.
Yeah. I was going to say at least once, but 3 times, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. I've never played Skyrim. I read a lot of Star Wars. Timothy Zahn and the 2 guys that did Aaron and Michael that did the X-Wing series. All from the Legend stuff, not from the after Disney purchased it and
ruined it.
Yeah.
I said it so you didn't have to.
Yeah, I was looking for a polite word for that, and I was just having difficulties.
I mean, the first movie that they did under their helm, I mean, it was a 1-for-1 retelling of Star Wars. Okay, it was fun. I can forgive that. But when Rian Johnson got in, I just killed it. Just killed it. You bought. Now y'all got me going off on a tirade, on a complete total tangent. Disney paid an obscene amount of money for this franchise, right?
Over $4 billion. Yeah.
Yeah. A crazy amount of money. I mean, an unfathomable amount of money. Decided we're going to put out 3 movies.
Which
like
they had
Seraphis.
For, given to them from George.
Yeah. Like Seraphis was just doing. But we're not going to make a cohesive thread throughout all 3 movies. We're just going to let a random director here, a random director here, and a random director here create 3 separate stories. And in doing so, the middle one fucked it up so bad they went back to the first one to try to fix it. But by that point, it was too late.
And now they're trying to fix it through TV shows. Or streaming shows, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
I'm not going to say that as someone who used to like Star Trek, that I could have told everyone that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
But, when Star Trek came out and then Into Darkness came out, and then we hear that he's not going to be doing the 3rd one because he's going to be doing Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every Trekkie could have told you that Star Wars was about to be fucked up the ass.
Yep.
Because look what he did.
Yep. Well, like I said, the first one in my book, was forgivable. I enjoyed it. It was very formulaic. It mimicked the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope.
It was that hero's journey type thing.
Yeah.
And if you're introducing new characters, what better way to do it?
Right.
That's
You're
fine.
introducing new characters while maintaining something that's familiar. Okay, great. I get that. The decision to not have Luke Skywalker in it was a major mistake. That was what the original trilogy was revolving around, was Skywalkers. I guess kind of we had that in the first movie. I mean, because you had Ben Solo, and that technically is a Skywalker. I mean, it's Leia's kid, so technically he was a Skywalker. I mean, he had Skywalker blood. Okay, fine, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, sorry guys, I'm going off on a major tangent there that I didn't really want to jump through, but hey, somebody egged me on.
Technically, he took his dad's name, so technically he was a Solo, not a Skywalker.
Well, but he had Skywalker blood in him. He's quarter Skywalker.
Yeah, but then again, Leia didn't exactly take the Skywalker name. She was an Organa.
Yeah, but she was still
the
Skywalker.
other on name.
She was still a Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
The DNA was there.
The DNA was there. The midichlorians were there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so George really screwed it up too.
I can forgive midichlorians. If you've seen Clone Wars, you know how midichlorians can be forgiven.
I know.
I really like the Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah. Clone Wars is awesome.
Yeah.
I am kind of excited to see the new Mandalorian Grogu movie.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'll grant you that. I think that's kind of my stance. I am cautiously optimistic, as long as there's no space witches in it singing.
I don't know.
Why did you have to bring up that? When you said space witches, I was going to bring up like what's her name from the Ewok movies. She was a cool space witch. Or what about Asar's Ventress? She would be cool to see in live action. But no, you got to ruin my day. I've got a whole day ahead
Hey,
of me. You got to
if I'm
ruin
not
my
feeling
day.
it,
With
I'm bringing
singing
everybody
witches.
down with me.
This is why I don't come on your show.
I know. I bring everybody down with me.
Okay. The Acolyte, I like the fighting. In that opening episode, that was a cool fight.
Yes.
I mean, it had some scenes that were okay, but I didn't, honestly, I tuned out. I think, Seraphis, I think you and I kind of tuned out at about the same time.
Yeah.
I watched like maybe 3 of the episodes, and then I didn't watch any more. And then I tuned in for the second to last episode. I never
I
watched
didn't
the
get that
final
far.
episode.
I watched for the fighting. Basically because of the stuff I read on it beforehand and how they were going to customize the different fighting styles and the different stances and types of attacks they were going to do.
Yeah.
I like martial arts. So I went looking for that, and that is the core of what I watched. The rest of it.
See, even then, by midway through, especially once the main villain revealed himself, you remember that fight?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Watch that fight. It is so damn amateurish. You see them taking turns in who is making the attack. Like, come on.
Yeah, you
That
think it'd
was
be a bit
so
more
terrible.
Yeah.
That was worse than the
Well, it was choreographed.
Ryan Johnson Snoke fight scene.
It was choreographed.
It was terribly choreographed.
Yeah. Like
But no, you're right. That first episode fight scenes, they were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if they just didn't take time with the actors to give them but the one character has a history of good fight scenes, not related to Star Wars. And so I was expecting to see that. And Carrie-Anne Moss,
Yeah.
I mean, she's, done enough.
Yeah.
I was expecting some good fighting styles and stuff. And yeah.
I don't know. I would like to see, of course, this all goes with the caveat that I want to see it done right. But I would like to see even if it was just a limited run series of Darth Vader.
That would be amazing.
We kind of had that with Kenobi, and it sucked. They changed.
Honestly, I liked Kenobi.
I liked his growth from I've tuned myself completely off from the Force, and I'm like depressed and all this, and how he has to like pull his shit together and get back.
Yeah.
I was a little kind of. At first, I was not happy with it, and then the more I thought about it and was like analyzing his train of thought and how fast could someone actually pull their mental state back together to become what they were or should be, then I was like, okay, well, if we factor in the time it should take to recover from all the stuffy, all that trauma, then okay, we'll give him his progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep hoping for really good stuff, and I'll watch it and
be disappointed. Yeah. Well, and that's another part, another excellent segue into this final little part of not feeling it. When the company that is supposed to be the steward of the brand takes the brand and basically craps all over it. Yeah, it almost is enough to make you want to seek out other systems to play. I mean, I'm stuck in playing D&D. It's a system that I'm familiar with. I know it. At this point in my life, I don't need any of the books in order to play it. Maybe for some finer rulings and details, like how you how you would mesh, I don't know, bards and warriors and wizards together with a very specific spell or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm just talking out my ass on that, but maybe that would be, one instance where I'd need a book, but for the most part, I mean, you just don't really need any books. At least, like I said, at this point in my life, I don't really need any books. But I like to read through them. But yeah, when you have WotC come out and do some really dumb, boneheaded moves, man, it just kind of sucks the excitement out of you. And it does make me start looking at other systems. Have you guys ever experienced anything like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And to answer Tori, I did buy Daggerheart. I opened it up. I've gone through a few things. It will sit on the shelf with my other Critical Role stuff and never get played. Maybe one shot here or there. I just bought it just for I like Critical Role. Yeah. DC 20 is interesting, but not so far that I would be willing to jump systems. I've got enough homebrew that I'm compiling, and I don't need WotC.
That's the boat that I'm in. It's I've got enough homebrew stuff that I don't need any additional D&D books. I really don't. But yeah, I mean, when, like I said earlier, when WotC makes some bonehead moves, it just kind of sucks the excitement out of you.
I get pissed off.
Yeah.
There's no other way to sugarcoat that one. I get pissed off, and I go and I start writing my own stuff. And I shared that example of the Gold Dragon the other day, and you can see I've drawn on all the older editions and stuff to try and make it. I have to come up with version 12, but my players are D&D players. Most of them, some of them have only played 5th edition, and then I got a couple that have played through that have played like me since the 80s.
Yeah.
But I have 1st edition books, 2nd, 3rd, 5th. Some of the basic stuff. And I got enough years in. I write products, and I look at what they're writing, and I look at what I'm doing in my free time, and
right.
If they come up with something great, I don't mind supporting it. I would buy it. If I had disposable income and it wasn't an issue, would I buy it and throw it on my shelf? Sure. Okay. But if I look at it and look at the reviews online, and then people open it up and go, well, this here is, and and this year's good, and this year's not. And if the nots just are too many,
Outweigh,
it's not money anymore. Yeah.
yeah. Yep, I get it. I'm right there, and I mean that's kind of been the focus of this channel. Is I want to crack open the latest stuff and show it to everybody and let them decide. Is this worth it for me and my table? Some stuff I've looked at is just not worth the paper it's been printed on, and I've been very honest about that. I don't know what to say on that. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah. I want them to do good. Goths in Rome is saying like he wants it to do good because it's the industry standard, and I want them to do good because I love the game.
Sure.
And I think of myself as a student of the game. I've played for decades. I love it. But have I seen things that they've done that I don't like? Yeah, a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Seraphis, here's a question for you. I know if we gave you an open mic, you would blast WotC into the ethers. But the question that I specifically have for you, Monty Cook Games, have they done things that you are just, what the hell are you guys thinking?
Yes.
That makes you want to close the book and look at a different system.
Yes. I have.
Yeah.
Because we did a whole Talking Drake on it.
Right. So that's yeah. So except for Slutwater, that's very redeemable in my book, but that's a completely different topic.
Well, everyone needs some slut water. So
yeah, I still can't get over that. So there's an item in one of the Cypher books called Slutwater, and it's just wow. That's all I can say is just wow. But I think that's the point, is regardless of what system you like, I think that there's always, it goes back to the old saying, you can't please everybody all the time. And I think that all three of us here tonight have at least pointed out some parts of some of those, of the companies that we like, that we disagree with the direction that they went. Hell, I could go back and point out some TSR stuff that I just very much disagree with.
And if I could just quickly intercept,
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to crush the genitals of everyone involved with Catalyst Game Labs right now, because they, and apologies, but they can go fuck themselves. Stop screwing over Australians, you assholes.
What he said. I'm not familiar with any of it, but
they're currently holding the Shadowrun and BattleTech IPs. I've backed a couple of their last few things, and suffice to say that they're lying and just
the whole shipping
substandard quality.
Yeah.
Finally getting here and just being like,
when everybody else has had it for 6 months?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, if not longer.
Yeah.
And you pretty much paid out the wazoo on the shipping for that, right?
$120 fucking dollars.
Yeah, just in shipping. Yeah, that's painful. So that honestly, that just goes to, that reaffirms what I was saying, is any company that anybody chooses to support, at some point they're going to make some moves that just you're not going to agree with. And so to kind of bring it all full circle, we've talked about not feeling it. It's kind of been the subject tonight, is just not feeling it. When your head is just not in the right space to run a game. Could be, like I said at the beginning of this, it could be that you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. It could be you got bad news at work. It could be that, your dog passed away, or whatever the reason is, you're just otherwise not feeling it that evening. Or, as our second kind of topic to that was that you've put in a week's worth of planning to make this the perfect game night for everybody, and everybody cancels on you, leaving you high and dry. That's enough to suck the inspiration out of you, makes you not want to play the next week, because hey, what's going to happen then? Is everybody going to cancel again? And then the third basic topic of not feeling it is when the company that you're getting your games from makes some bonehead moves, and it makes you very unexcited to play their product. I like Drax's solution in that you're doing homebrew. That's kind of the core of what your game is homebrew stuff. That way, the only person that's going to disappoint the work is you.
Yep.
And you're probably more into self-preservation than making stupid moves. And so you're less likely to disappoint yourself by a decision that you've made in developing that world. Would that be fair?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yep. So, I mean, I think that we've gone over a few different basic solutions on how to get one out of that funk, out of just not feeling it, whether it's playing a different game, whether it's canceling the game yourself and just taking a break, whether it's, gathering your friends and going out for pizza and then coming back home and watching Hulu and chilling, or Netflix and chilling, if that's your thing. It really all depends on the players at that point, I guess. There are things that you can do to kind of get yourself back into the mood. I like the comment that was made earlier where sometimes you just got to grin and bear it, buckle up, buttercup, and just keep pushing on. And, after 30 minutes or so, you kind of forget about the issues that you had, the troubles that you had for the day, and you're kind of back in that zone of playing.
I've got a quick question. Just for me. Do you guys use music when you play?
Yes, sometimes I do. When I'm going into a real heavy session, I know certain specific encounters that I'm going to have, like, with a vampire or, with a group of kobolds or something. And I'll pick out specific tracks for those specific encounters. Or if I know that there's going to be a specific dungeon that they're going to go through, I'll have sound effects of water dripping in the background. I'll have, specific music set for that specific cavern. So yes, absolutely, I do.
Do you ever use the music to trigger you to get back into the right mindset?
Yeah. I find Rob Zombie does that for me real quick. I don't know why.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Living Dead Girl, that'll do it in a heartbeat.
Call of Cthulhu, Metallica.
Yeah.
1,000 horsepower, Godsmack.
Diggy Diggy. That does it for Seraphis.
Well, you got a diggy hole.
Yeah. You got it. Yeah, you got it. Well, any final words from you, Drac?
You know what? Keep pushing, keep playing, keep rolling them dice.
Yeah, it's good advice. Seraphis?
If it chafes, use more lube.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Unless it's a cactus, then just stay away from it.
True.
I mean, unless you're into that kind of thing. But I'm not, so. Well, guys, I'm going to end it here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching. I don't know if we offered anything out there into the world, but I had fun talking about it. I know that I've certainly had a rough week this week, and it's only Wednesday for me. So I still have 2 more days to go. Yeah, man. Just don't let the bastards get you down. There's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. Don't let it get you down. Just keep like Drax said, keep rolling your dice, keep having
Keep
fun,
on keeping on.
keep on keeping on. And until next our paths cross, may you